Okay, good evening, everyone. So this is the first video in the series, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about my background when it comes to dealing with child custody and the family court system in the state of Georgia. So I moved to Georgia in July of 2003. It's hard to believe it's 18 years ago, but it is. And to marry somebody that I'd known for a very long time. She had been married before and had two children, and we reconnected and started dating and decided to get married. We got married, and the the marriage went south pretty quickly for reasons that I don't think I need to get into for the purpose of our talks here. I can tell you that I was married in August of 2003 and then separated in December of 2003. And almost from the get-go did my troubles begin because the threats of parental alienation and using my son and my daughter, who I didn't know at the time I was going to have two. I thought we were only having one. That I was going to be that they were going to be used as leverage against me. It started pretty quickly. So we separated in 2003, and through prepaid legal, I hired an attorney who worked in the town where I had lived with my ex-wife, and he pretty much just took my money. He had no strategy for winning. He had no spirit of winning in the way he discussed the situation with me. He said that it was impossible for a father to get custody, and I was like, "How is it impossible?" Like I'm thinking America is a place where a just and equitable treatment should be given to everyone, regardless of whether you're a father or a mother or any kind of couple. Everybody deserves to stand before the court as an equal. He basically took $1,850 of my money and didn't really do anything for me at all. So I had to fire him. And good luck getting your money back if that's the case, because these lawyers won't give you the money back. I hired another attorney who was known in the town for being good when it came to child custody. I come later to find out that she basically from the get-go chose the path of least resistance. She didn't really prepare for the case. She didn't really have any faith at all that we were going to win the case. So she just put absolutely no effort into it, showed up to court completely unprepared. I watched as my ex-wife's attorney tore me to shreds while on the stand, and she got up and basically didn't defend me. And then I saw my ex-wife put on the stand. I saw her lie. I saw her fabricate evidence, and we proved that she did all of those things. And my attorney didn't really go after her for much. She walked over after about 7 or 8 questions and whispered to me, "Is there anything else you'd like me to ask?" And I'm like, "No." Like, of all the material I gave her, I figured that she would be able to, take my ex-wife apart and prove what a liar she is, and how unfit she was really to raise children, which she is, and always will be, in my opinion. And that's okay. It's okay to have that opinion. If that's your opinion of your ex, and you can substantiate that, then there's nothing wrong with saying it. I'm not saying don't write it in the sky and don't put it up on a billboard, but if you feel like saying it, if it's your opinion, then that should be the case. Going through the family court system back in 2003 in Georgia was thought I was in the Stone Ages, because the judge sat there and listened to probably the better part of a full day of testimony, goes back into his chambers, and then 15 minutes later comes out with with an agreement that I just, to this day, I still can't believe happened. A temporary agreement that gave all the power to her and gave me 3 hours of visitation every other Saturday. The first and the third Saturday of the month. 3 hours. That's all the time I had to visit with my children. They were only 10 weeks at the time, but 3 hours. I mean, I couldn't believe that. I was taking care of my ex-wife's children all the time, and it was well more than 3 hours a day, almost every day of the week. So when that came down, we went to a final hearing. The attorney that I had, she withdrew from the case. I ran out of money, and she withdrew from the case and left me without any legal representation. I was going up against my ex-wife's attorney, and if you're not an attorney and you're going into family court, or any kind of court for that matter, up against somebody who is an attorney, you'd have about as much luck as the average person going up against Mike Tyson or any other professional boxer. You're going to lose. They know the law. They know the procedures. They know how to question things. They know how to discredit and impeach the testimony of other people. And on top of that, most of the time they know the judge. And a good attorney knows the law. A great attorney knows the judge. And this is a small town, so this judge and this lawyer, they knew each other. So wouldn't have mattered what I said. He was going to side with the other side. The gender bias against fathers in family court, it varies from state to state, but I can tell you that in Bullock County, Georgia, it was very, very obvious at the time. I know it's been 18 years at this point. I would hope that things have changed, but it may not have. It might be the same as it's always been, depending on which judge you get. Thankfully, the judge I had has now retired. I would love to be able to tell him exactly what I think of his assessment of the case and the actions that he took. But my fight is almost over, guys. My son and my daughter will be 18 in May of next year, 2022, and I won't have to deal with this family court situation ever again, thank God. So over the years, I wanted more visitation. I wanted more time. My ex-wife wouldn't give it to me. She used my children as leverage in every single opportunity she possibly could, because it was the only thing that she could use against me. Went back to court in 2006. That cost me $2,700 to $2,800 in legal fees alone, just because I wanted a standard visitation schedule with my children. She didn't want to give it to me. I took her back to court. We didn't even go to a hearing because my attorney was able to convince her attorney that what I was asking for was pretty standard, and she didn't have any grounds to prevent me from having it. So we came to an agreement, and I started exercising a regular visitation schedule. Now comes 2015, 2016, and in that 10 years, I exercised my visitation whenever I could. I showed up at their school for lunch. I was told by the principal that I couldn't do that, and I argued with him for 20 minutes, and because she didn't want me going in there, she didn't want me to have lunch with my son and my daughter. And then 2015, 2016 comes around. I wanted more time with them, and she didn't want to give it. I said to her, "Listen, I will type this thing up. I'll let you review it. Whatever you want to change, we'll discuss it. We'll negotiate. We'll work it out." I said, "You can even have an attorney review it, and then we'll stand before the judge, and we'll say, 'Your Honor, this is our agreement. The terms in here are what my ex-wife and I have agreed to. We'd like you to sign it and make it the order of the court, so it's an enforceable order." She didn't want to do it. So I had to hire an attorney again. This time I got a wonderful attorney in the town of Statesboro. I won't mention her name, but she knows who she is. And I was able to get a different judge, thank God. I got a judge who had actually been through a divorce and not one who had been married for the last 50 years. And so he kind of knew what I was going on, what I was going through. I think he saw a lot of the things that my ex-wife, in the case, in the trial that we had, the hearing, I think he saw a lot of things that my ex-wife was doing that were just obvious attempts at parental alienation and hostile aggressive parenting. And he was able to see through a lot of her nonsense and a lot of her BS. And because when the final order came down 4 weeks after we had the hearing, my jaw hit the floor. I couldn't believe what I'd been granted. He gave me everything I asked for, and even more. He gave me even more time than I had originally asked for. And he reduced my child support and everything because of the amount of money. It was a deviation from the child support agreement that we had because of the amount of money I was spending every month to come see my son and my daughter from when I was living in Raleigh, North Carolina at the time, and driving all the way to Savannah. So all in all, we're talking $17,000 in legal fees. We're talking multiple hearings. We're talking a lot of hostile aggressive parenting, a lot of parental alienation, and I'm going to be covering these things in the videos and what it looks like. You need to know what is parental alienation and what does it look like, and how do you spot it? How do you call it out? What do you do? And same thing with hostile aggressive parenting and things of that nature. And you need to know that you have rights. You have a right to be in your son or your daughter's lives, your children's lives. You have a right to be there. In the absence of good cause, you have a right to be their father. So if that cause isn't present, then you have every right to stand up, step up, and fight. If it means going into court by yourself because you can't afford an attorney, then that's what you need to do. It's as simple as that. Is it scary? Yeah. Is it intimidating? Yeah. Is it going to be tough? Yeah. But you're still going to have an opportunity to speak to the judge and plead your case, and I'm going to help you prepare for that if that's what you really want. Okay. So I'll leave it there for you. I'm going to be making some more videos later on. please do me a favor and like this video. It really, really helps me out. Subscribe to the channel so that you get new videos every time one is uploaded. I really look forward to having some one-on-one consultations with you guys. I'm going to put my contact information in the description. Please reach out to me. I'm available for a fee-based consultation, okay? And we'll discuss your case, and I'll do the best I can to give you the best advice that I possibly can, okay? Have a good evening.